Today I want to show you something that a lot of people have been asking about, and that is called metadata tagging. It's something that we just recently started doing. We used to use system tags to do a lot of the functionality here, but it looks like metadata tagging is a little more flexible and a little easier. So here are the results of some of the metadata tagging that we've done. We've used it to do our chart builder. So what this does is it organizes all the histories into general categories that drill down into more detailed categories. So as we can see here, we're at WMU and there are two different buildings. So let's open up 165, and then you can see there are two systems there. There's HVAC and there's lighting. And we'll open that further and we see kind of broad categories for our different types of equipment. And we can pop that open, and here are the different heat pumps we have there. And in this case, these heat pumps serve multiple rooms. So even further down, we have the different rooms in which they serve located there. And if you want, just like typical chart building, we can grab stuff in here and build the chart that way. So getting to the metadata tagging part, it is located in one place on a station, and that is under config. If you right click on your config, under views, it's the last view available called metadata browser. So once we're in here, we see all the station points and histories, and we can also tag the points, but we're not going to worry about that right now. We're going to worry about tagging these histories. So let's open that up. And so now we have a list of all of the histories that are available on the station. Looks like we have a few that need to be deleted from the database up here, because these are not standard names for these things. So we'll just ignore those for now. But I see a whole bunch of stuff here that we can tag up. So we have no metadata available currently over in this right column to show you if there was any tags. So let's just grab a couple different systems for the example. So we're going to grab the chilled water points and the geo system points. So I'm going to shift click so I get them all highlighted. And then we have a button here that says add metadata, but we can also right click to add metadata. So let's do that. Now under new name, this is going to be the name of the tag type that you put in there. And this is actually going to be the name of a slot that is added to the history extension. So we're going to call this one BLDG for building. And it looks like we have a standard building name over here called HRTG, HALL. I'm going to hit OK. So we're starting kind of in our broad general categories, and we'll be drilling down as we go through. So it's working there. Now all of these points have been tagged with that building tag, and they're all part of the HVAC system. So I'm going to add another tag called system. There we go. And these two groups of points that I picked, the chilled water system and the geo system, are part of a category we call hydronic systems. So we're just going to add type hydronic systems. And notice that I have used the plural version. I didn't just put hydronic system. We do want to use the plural version of these types because the names we're using down here are what the folders will be called once we do our chart builder. So that's why we do that. So we'll hit OK. So I think you get the gist of how we're adding the tags here. I'm going to add a couple more, so we'll be done. Actually, we're going to get specific here. So now we're getting specific enough where I can't highlight all of them. I need to highlight just this particular system. So this one is called unit, and it is chilled water sys. And let's tag this one, and we'll be all done adding metadata for this example. But then I'll show you what else you need to do. So unit. And it is important to keep the same consistent name up here, because that is how it organizes the folders. So, this is not chilled water. Geo. There we go. Okay. So now that we have all these tags in here, this will help us create folders to keep all of this history data in. So after we do that, we can go under config, under services, history service. There's a container called history groupings. So let's click on that. We're going to create a new history grouping. Hit OK. The name of the history group is going to be shown in those history folders too. So I'm going to call it WMU. And here's where we put our metadata tags. And what we want to do is we want to start with our most general and then drill down as we go from top to bottom here. So here we're putting building, then system, then type, then unit. Oops, see, we can't capitalize it. It needs to be spelled exactly. Okay. Now that that's in there, we can look down in our history space on this station. And here's where all of the histories are, but here's where our tagged ones are. See, now it is under a WMU folder. So let's go ahead and look at that chart builder. Clear that one, it's an old one. So under there is this building, Heritage Hall. This is our system, HVAC. And it's hydronic systems. And then here we have our two different systems here. We have our chilled water and our geo system. And that's that. That's all you have to do. Also, when these are exported to the web supervisor, this metadata goes with it. So the only thing we need to do is add the history grouping up in the supervisor, and you'll get the same chart builder there. So that's all we have today, so I'll see you next time. Thanks.